have I bought more books? Of course I have. Hey my fellow weirdos, welcome back to my YouTube channel. If you're new here, I read and review all types of horror books, so if that's your thing, be sure to give me a follow. Now, I have got another haul. Of course I have. Of course, you've clicked on the video because you want a haul. Now, this is going to be part of my justification for buying these books is to really start ramping up independent bookshops and indie publishers. So of course I had to buy a stack of books from them because I want to support them. That is my justification. Anyway, if you are not from the UK or if you are not familiar with Dead Ink books, I've got a stack of Dead Ink books that I want to show you. Now, they specialise in, I'd say, literary horror, like weird, unsettling gothic horror. That is very much their forte. They also publish outside of horror as well. They tend to publish a lot of just weird lit in general. They've also got some non-fiction, but of course I had to go for the horror adjacent books. Now I'm going to go through the books and show you what I got, and hopefully it will inspire you to check them out and see what other books they've done, because they've published some amazing books. Now, the first book I got is a short story collection, and it is Make a Home of Me by Vanessa Santos. This is the cover. How stunning is that? So this is an author I've not read from this author. In fact, I don't think I've read from any of the authors that I'm going to feature. This is a gothic collection. So peer through the keyhole and you'll see a mysterious dinner party with a sickening twist, a woman's intense new relationship with a single father and his strangely shy daughter, the rediscovered journals of a famous artist with singular obsession who disappeared in suspicious circumstances, a family driven to desperation by the impossible appearance of nonsensical notes, and a seemingly happy married couple driven to the edge of despair by a neighbour's crying baby. So I love a short story collection. Again, if you know me, you know that I love a curated short story collection, and this is quoted by one of my new favourite authors, and that is Lucie Rose, and she says, "I'm obsessed." So of course I had to get it. If you don't know, Lucie Rose wrote The Lamb, and that was my favourite book of 2025, so I'm going to definitely trust her opinion on this. It's also been quoted by Heather Parry, who is the author of Carrion Crow, and she's a gothic author. So yeah, it's giving unsettling, it's giving gothic, it's giving weird and uncanny, and I love a short story collection like that. So I very much love unresolved endings as well, and I feel like that's what this is giving. So yeah, I can't wait to dive into this one. And yeah, the cover for this, I'm actually obsessed. I just love the baby pink against the grey. It just makes it all the more morbid, especially paired with that photo as well. That is absolutely creepy as fuck. Creepy kids. Yeah, and I also believe that it's not too long as well, so this is just going to be perfect when I am in between my TBR, in between longer books, and I just feel like in the mood for it. So I can't wait to pick this one up. The next book is actually another short story collection. I believe this is the only two out of the stack, so we're just going to go for that one first. And I've been after this one for a while, actually. I think it's been published a couple of years ago. And that is Dead Relatives by Lucie McKnight Hardy. I think that's how you say her name, McKnight Hardy. Yeah, Lucie McKnight Hardy. She also has been... I've also got one of her other books, and that is Water Shall Refuse Them, which it says there. That is one of her other books. This, again, it doesn't seem too long. It seems like it's just coming under 200 pages, just over 200 pages, and it is a short story collection, I believe, about hauntings. I mean, I could be wrong. I've not looked too much into it, let's just read the blurb. So it says, Iris has never left the big house in the country she shares with Mommy and the servants. When the ladies arrive, she finds that she must appease her dead relatives. Other stories in this collection explore themes of motherhood and the fragile body, family dynamics and small town tensions, unusual traditions and metamorphosis. Dead Relatives and Other Stories is a highly anticipated no holds barred short story collection from Lucie McKnight Hardy, and not for the faint-hearted. Dead Relatives invites you behind closed doors and will leave you wondering if it's better that they're kept shut and firmly locked. So yeah, this is not quite a short story collection, sorry. This is, we've got one feature story paired with some other stories. So the actual main story itself takes up 66 pages of the book. And then the rest of the book is comprised of 12 other stories. So they'll be quite short stories. One long story and several short stories. So yeah, and the cover again. I know I'm going to keep talking about the covers, but I really do think an independent publisher does take their time more with the covers. They're more striking. They tend to be a bit more individual, I think. That is just my opinion. Because I know a lot of bigger publishers, they follow a lot of design trends. So you tend to see patterns over the years of design trends. And I'm not saying that independent publishers don't do that at all, but particularly with this independent publisher, I have noticed how stunning all of their covers are. So yeah, shout out to Dead Ink, and whoever designs your covers, I'm guessing it's like different artists every time, to be honest. In fact, we're getting a lot of repetition here. This one's designed by Luke Bird. This one's designed by Luke Bird. Let's have a look at the other one and see if that's designed by Luke Bird. It is. You might recognise this book actually, because this is probably the most famous out of the stack. This is the Doloroid by Missouri Williams. Now, my pronunciations are terrible, so excuse me if I've got that wrong. But yeah, designed by Luke Bird. So Luke Bird, shout out to you, because you're designing some insane covers at the minute. This, I believe, is it falls under the radar of like weird lit, but it's also very horrific. It's more like post-apocalyptic, philosophical, gothic, dark. It has been compared to the likes of the Iliad and Cormac McCarthy. It follows a family in a post-apocalyptic world who... Okay, let's just read the blurb. So it says, in a wake of a mysterious environmental cataclysm that has wiped out the rest of humankind, a family descended from their incest cling to existence on the edges of a deserted city. The matriarch, ruling with fear and force, dreams of starting humanity over again. Though her children are not so certain, together the family scavenges supplies and attempts to cultivate the poisoned earth. When the matriarch dreams of another group of survivors, she sends away her daughter Dolores as a marriage offering, but her reappearance triggers the breakdown of the matriarch's fragile order, and the control she wields over their sprawling family begins to weaken. Gothic and strange, moving and disquieting, the Doloroid stares down humanity's unbreakable commitment to life, for better or worse. So yeah, it sounds very philosophical. It sounds like it might be, well, it definitely has a serious tone. But again, it's coming in at just over 200 pages. Yeah, the cover, weird. It's giving weird. And it's been quoted by Cosmopolitan, saying, provocative, incredibly moving, and absolutely unforgettable. A powerful debut from a truly original new voice. So I didn't know it was a debut. I'm not quite sure what else this author has done, but I'm willing to give this a shot. I'm definitely in a sort of weird horror girl era at the minute. Although I do go through phases. I'm loving my witchy phase at the minute. I've got this kind of weird girl phase, but then sometimes I just want to pick up an extreme horror. So I just love all types of horror. And one that has a comment on society and is philosophical, I definitely am here for. I need more philosophical horror X. So yeah, I love that. I can't wait to read it. The next book I got was Edendale. I don't know how to say this author's name. Guys, can't even say the first name. Jacquelyn Stolos. Again, the cover is okay, it's not designed by Luke Bird this time. It's designed by Tom Etherington. Cover art by Francis Waite. I love how they credit the illustrators and the designers at the back of the book. It needs to be done in every sort of book, in my opinion. This one is, I believe, it's a little bit more shitty people doing shitty things. It is set in LA, and that is one of the reasons why I wanted this book, because I am often drawn to horror books that are set in LA, because I don't think, quote me if I'm wrong, but I don't think we see that many of them, because LA is portrayed in itself to be such this glorious place, and I don't know why I'm fascinated by LA in general, because I know that in its glitz and glam, it's got its dark history, it's got its dark present, and it's very much, a lot of terrible things happen there. So I'm just drawn to it because it seems so fake to me. So I haven't really read that many books that are based in LA that are horror books. Now, one that I'm thinking of, which kind of started my obsession, not gonna lie, it's a very, 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 very triggering book though. So if you're gonna read it, just check your trigger warnings, because it's actually the most vile book that I've ever read, in a good way for me. And that is Along the Path of Torment by Chandler Morrison. Now, he is, I believe he's an author that has grown up in the midst of LA, so he's very much aware of the ins and outs of it. And this book is all very much that. And that became my obsession with LA. So I saw that this was set in LA. Didn't even read the rest of the plot, rest of the blurb. But let's just give it a go. Let's just read it now and see what it's actually about. So in northeast Los Angeles, wildfires rage and coyotes stalk the neighborhood streets. The wind blows heavy with smoke, and inside a rented bungalow on hilly Lemoyne Street, the air grows heavy with something else. Ropey closes his checking account and transfers his net worth to his sock drawer. Megan sharpens pencils and chops produce to obsession. Lal tightens his grip on his girlfriend Egypt, whose growing dependence makes her question everything, especially Lyle. And Captain America, the cat of the house, finds his orange coat given away to a nest of bleeding sores. As the fires burn even closer, will the four friends wake up to their false paradise? So yeah, false paradise, LA. Say no more. I am drawn to this book, and I hope these people are shitty, because I love shitty people doing shitty things. So yeah, that's why I bought that one. The last book in this stack is by an author called Naomi Booth, and this book is called Sealed. Now, I believe this author has written several books, two maybe horror that are horror adjacent, and then the other couple of books that she's done are more like literary, general fiction related. But I am trying to expand my reading and trying to read like a bunch of different, anyway, this is horror, don't get me wrong, but like I am, if I like this, I might be drawn to her other books, is what I'm trying to say, because I am trying to get into like more just literary, more historical, more fantasy. Obviously I'm still going to read horror, but I'm speaking about maybe 1 or 2 books a month I will try and read something a little bit different and see what I think of it, because horror's in everything, guys. I mean, it really is, especially in history. So let's read the book. I believe this is more like a Rosemary's Baby kind of situation. So heavily pregnant Alice and her partner Pete are done with the city. Above all, Alice is haunted by the rumours of skin-sealing epidemic starting to infect the urban population. Okay, like another apocalyptic sort of book here. So surely their new remote mountain house will offer safety, a place to forget the nightmares and start their little family. But the mountains and their people hold a different kind of danger, with their relationship under intolerable pressure. Violence erupts and Alice is faced with the unthinkable as she fights to protect her unborn child. Okay, so it's a gripping modern fable on motherhood, a terrifying portrait of ordinary people under threat from their own bodies and from the world around them. So yeah, I love the sound of that as well. So without further ado, this has been my haul from Dead Ink Books. If you are interested in me reading one of these, I could do a reading vlog. Let me know which one you think I should prioritize, because honestly, guys, I'm stuck. I think the ones that are standing out to me at the minute are Edendale and the first short story collection. Those two, the pink ones, which is strange because I do not tend to go for pink. However, we're not judging a book by its cover here, are we? We're actually reading the premise, Anna. So yeah, let me know which one you think I should read. Yeah, comment your favourite indie publisher or indie bookshop in the comments. Let me know what's around you. I'll see you next time. Bye, weirdos.